I just worked with my teacher last week about something I've already shared a video about here of like my fear of like approaching women. And when we literally just went back and found like the inner child, found out what was going on with him, his limiting beliefs, what his view is of the world, what he's doing to protect himself, what he vows to do moving forward. In that moment in real time, that limiting belief just completely just shattered. The way I think I want this channel to go forward is talking about the shadow work I've done. And I've spent the past 5 years training with someone who specializes in this therapy called RoHun therapy. And it has been the one thing that has actually just transformed the complete just trajectory of my life. And I've been able to just become like just such a new person in so many different facets, just in different ways of being. I think me bringing it up and explaining the things I've worked through, the things I'm currently working through, the things it's done, the things it's opened my life up to, have created many things in my life utilizing all these things of nervous system regulation, parts work, and shadow work and energy work. Because for the past number of videos and the past number of months, I've been stuck of like what is Brian's edge? Like what is Brian's thing? And like I've been just making videos, speaking my mind and my thoughts about a lot of other things, but it's never really been specific. And I think that I'm very, one, proud of, but two, is a big part of my life is the work I've done and the therapy I've done and this type of work where a lot of people aren't doing the combination of what this therapy is. And it's the one thing, again, that has just transformed the complete trajectory of my life. It's incredibly important that I talk about it, again, not from a teaching perspective, because I'm not the one to teach this, but more in terms of just like, hey, this is what I'm currently going through. This is what's worked for me. This is where I've been. This is where I'm going. This is what's happened at work or with relationships or with friends or family or all the neuroses I go through to try to figure out my own life. I use this work almost every day to try and work through all the things that come up with me in everyday life. And that's how I was always taught to do it since I started this training like 6 years ago now. So it's something that's really, really important to me that I'm passionate about. Am I able to teach it? No. I can just talk about my experience and what I've done. And I don't think I'm meant to teach this work. Maybe not now, maybe whenever. I don't really know. But doing this content and starting out, I'm not trying to teach anyone anything. It is, again, just me doing my own thing, me in my own element of just talking about the stories of the work I've done, of navigating through different elements of my life and having it all distill back down to this work, and how every time I come back down to this work, I'm able to distill these problems or events or scenarios into very tangible things that lead me to a new outcome, basically. And so that's where I really want this channel to go. Again, I don't really know what it's going to be like and what it's going to do, but just, I mean, I've gone through just years and years of training, and I think like reconciling all of those trainings and all the notes I've taken throughout all of them is going to be really important, because it's a lot of work on limiting beliefs and faulty thoughts and carrying emotions that are not necessarily mine, that I've taken up from other people or other things and circumstances that have happened in my life. And it's like, it's very much of like making the unconscious conscious and then maneuvering through that, through this new state and this new energy of having some type of clarity on what's going on. And so literally this video is just for me to just make a video to be like, okay, like this is me and this is what I'm going to do, because I use this work in every form, in every avenue of my life. And it truly has been the one thing that has worked for me. And I've tried so many other different modalities. And like, I still meditate and I do breath work every day, because those are things that help ground me. But in terms of like fully transformational changing, this therapy of, again, parts work and shadow work and energy work in nervous system regulation is really the one thing where it's like every time I work with my teacher again, everything clicks again. And I'm like, this is it. Like, this is it. This is what I need to do. And this is exactly what has been holding me back for however long. Like, I just worked with my teacher last week about something I've already shared a video about here of my fear of approaching women. It went back to me as a kid and being chubby and the whole thing. The path that I was like looking toward, I was like, wait, the thing I've already like worked through, I was like, wait, like I understand this already, but there's still a block. And when we literally just went back and found like the inner child, found out what was going on with him and his limiting beliefs, what his view is of the world, what he's doing to protect himself, what he vows to do moving forward. When you go back and you see the stories that are playing and you see how they're taking over your life, it's like, wow, like in that moment in real time, that limiting belief just completely just shattered. And it was just the most freeing experience of being able to then sit in this space without having the thought ruminate or me being like, where am I going to find my wife? And having that thought of, well, beautiful women won't find me desirable. Now just completely gone and just so quiet and mellow inside the mind whenever that comes up. That was a very liberating experience. And again, I'm very much paraphrasing. I will do a video where I deep dive into it. But what I'm saying is like, even something like that, just like a week ago when I talked to my teachers, like transformed so much in the past couple of days for me. It's been really, really amazing and freeing for me. And then along with that, like I've also been stuck trying to do this content and like try to find out like what, like where in like my week and my day, like is the best point for me to do this. I even procrastinated today because work kind of took over. And now I'm stuck here at 3 p.m. making this video where I'm exhausted and I don't really want to do this video. And like, yes, am I forcing it right now? Yes. But for me, it's important to do this to keep the momentum going because it's like for so long I've been stuck on like what is the messaging and like what am I trying to do? Again, like I was saying in the beginning of just like I'm just posting just to post. And I've said this since the beginning of the channel. Like I don't really know where I'm going or what it's going to be. If anything, this is just like a 10-year passion project, right? Of seeing where I am when I'm 37, 38, when I was 27 when I started this. 2 months ago, I turned 28. Now I'm doing this still and just seeing where that goes. Like it can be that. Then I started getting caught up in the views again of, well, I want whatever my message is to be very authentic, to be very from me. I'm not trying to change anything. I'm not trying to put on a mask. I'm not trying to do whatever, but I'm also like, well, I'm not getting the views like I used to when I was doing content 4 years ago. But I was chasing it for different reasons. I was getting the vanity success from an inauthentic standpoint that I wish I was getting now from an authentic standpoint. And so then it left me guessing for a while, just like, is it just like the message is not resonating, or is it like the packaging is not resonating? And so taking the couple weeks that I have of like really just been able to sit with it, just to ask myself and think to myself, like, is it the messaging or is it the packaging? Well, the messaging is very broad right now. Like I'm talking about so many different elements because I don't know what to talk about. But I was like, what is like the thing I utilize every day, every week that I come back to all the time for all these different areas of my life that I'm talking about without saying the thing? And it's this form of work that I've done of RoHun, of again, parts, inner child, energy, shadow work. Like that's like the root of everything. And I feel like if that's the thing that's providing me the change and the trajectory that I'm seeing moving forward, like that's the thing I need to talk about because that's the thing I'm the most passionate about, even though I don't know how to teach it or I'm not supposed to teach it right now, which I agree, I'm not supposed to. It is the one thing that I can apply to all these other avenues of my life and how when I'm talking to people and out to dinner with friends and people are asking me for advice or I'm trying to figure something out, like it all stems back down to this work. If this is what I'm using to change my life, this is something that I need to share. Again, not from a teaching perspective, but it's like, hey, this is how I'm figuring this out. This is what happened beforehand. This is what's changed and this is what shifted. But yeah, I think it's more of just distilling the messaging a little bit more concisely into like, this is the framework of how I'm pushing the messaging is through the lens of how I think about everything else through this RoHun work and then playing with the packaging. I've been getting too serious into in my head of what I'm trying to do and how it's supposed to look because I'll see videos blow up of people just like this, talking head into a camera, no packaging. And then I also see that people do the packaging to make these very slower, more monotone, but impactful videos more digestible for social, which again, I used to do way back when, and I know how to do it. And I think I was just giving myself a hard time for doing it. Well, no, it's got to be true. So you can't edit anything. Yeah, I would like make subtitles and captions. Fine. I would slice it just a little bit to cut out the pauses because I talk very slowly and intentionally. I think that's what's been coming up. But then again, like back to the work, like this is all shadow work at the end of the day. It's a fear of being seen for who I am, being seen in public or the failure in public in front of everyone who follows me and on all social platforms. Like that's what this is. Then it's also the fear of trying to get it perfect before I do the next step, of needing to think everything through before going to the next step or getting the software or automating with AI, how I've always been doing. It's all these fears and stories and nuances. Again, back to the shadow work, where I take the time to sit with it of like what I'm trying to do here. And I'm like, oh, here's this worry, here's this fear, here's this. It's like, I've known all these things. I know that I do this, all my neuroses. I'm crazy. But I'm like, okay, how do I just work through those and just come back in front of the camera and I try it again and try to bring more of like just a flowier energy into this thing, more of like a feminine energy of just flow and having fun with doing this, not taking it so seriously. Because everyone's trying to take it so seriously. And I think I was trying to take it too seriously of making sure I don't do it the wrong way, like I was doing beforehand, that I'm now too in my head and not taking enough action, which then leads me to be more anxious because I'm not taking enough action. Again, back to the shadow. So now coming back out, again, having this better understanding of where I'm trying to go, what I'm trying to do with this content, I feel like I have a much better and more clear path of where I'm going and what I want the messaging to be. And so moving forward, all these videos, at least for the next foreseeable number of months, are going to be around shadow work. Don't know exactly what, don't know exactly how. I'm not teaching, I'm just sharing. And I'm really interested to see where this comes into play.